Picture this. You go into an interview for your dream role, but as soon as you start the interview, you mess up the first question and start sweating. Your heart is pounding, your face is flushed, and you just start mumbling all your words. When those nerves kick in, it's really hard to be your best self in the interview, but it's possible to turn that nervousness on its head and confidently approach interviews. Let me show you how. My name is Yi Lin Pei, founder of Courageous Careers. Having helped over 150 product marketers land and thrive in their dream roles, I have the exact proven tips to help you thrive in your product marketing career. In this series, Positioning for Growth, I'm teaching people what it takes to succeed in their product marketing job. In my last video, I touched on the more technical side of interview prep, specifically how to answer interview questions using my PSAR framework. In today's video, I overlooked side of interview prep, how to be more confident and reduce nervousness during interviews. Let me first start by saying it is totally human to be nervous in interviews. It's never easy to convince a complete stranger to hire you, especially if it's for your dream role. The key is to recognize this and practice several techniques to show up in interviews more confidently. So let me share with you the 5 tips to help you accomplish that. Let's start with the first 3 tips to use before the interview. Tip number 1. Shift your mindset. The philosopher Confucius said, "You are what you think." If we think positively, we will act more positively. But if we think negatively, we're going to act more negatively. I understand in this tough job market, you may have received a lot of rejections. But instead of looking at it negatively, do everything you can to reframe it in a positive way. Instead of saying, "I suck, I keep losing these opportunities," recognize that you actually made all the way to the final round. Once you have a positive reframe, visualize yourself going into the interview confidently, smiling, and just having a great time. Also, before the interview, take a deep breath. Go outside for a walk and do everything that you can to get yourself to slow down and get into a peaceful mindset. Tip number 2, prepare thoroughly. You must spend time preparing for interviews in order to perform well in them. Nobody can actually win an interview. Doing the right research and prep will have you feeling more confident during the interview. Here's the playbook I use with my clients to prepare. Study the company. Understand the customer, competition, product value proposition, financial performance, cultures, and values of the company. Study the interviewer. Analyze their background and anticipate the questions they may ask you. Study the role. Note the key requirements and use the same keywords in your interview. Conduct a PMM audit. Evaluate the company's messaging, content, social media presence, and third-party reviews. And lastly, prepare for interview questions. Spend time preparing for 5 to 7 interview questions you believe the interviewer will most likely ask you, using the PSAR framework discussed in the previous video. Tip number 3, practice, and more practice. Reports have shown that the best TED speakers rehearse their speeches for more than 200 times. So, to sound confident and natural, you have to practice your interview responses until you have fully internalized them. You don't have to memorize your answers word for word. Instead, focus on conveying the key points naturally. You can practice with friends, a coach, or other job seekers in a supportive environment. For example, in my community, I pair job seekers up into pairs to practice weekly. And with enough practice, you too will begin to speak naturally and sound less robotic. Now, with a great mindset, thorough preparation, and practice, you can begin to apply the next 2 tips during the interview. Treat the interview as a two-way conversation. As you enter the interview, remember it's not a one-way interrogation, but a two-way conversation. Interviews, after all, are an opportunity for you to evaluate each other. So, occasionally disrupt your own script, Don't be afraid to pause to ask questions and guide the interviewer to ask about different areas of experience to show more of your superpowers. This will naturally shift your energy in the interview, make it fun for the both of you, and help you uncover way more about each other. Remember, you got this far in your career because you are skilled, valuable, and worthy. So, you should spend time asking the interviewer real questions to ensure it's the right fit for you. Tip number 5, focus on your strengths and not your weaknesses. Remember, you get hired for what you're good at, not for areas you're not that great at. Instead of worrying about all your skill gaps, remind yourself why they chose you to interview in the first place and what unique value you bring. If you get a question you don't know the answer to, you can always ask to clarify, redirect, or come back to it later. I have interviewed hundreds of candidates, and not a single interview went perfectly. Just remember the 80-20 rule. You just have to nail 80% of the interview. Don't worry if you miss a few questions. Embrace what makes you unique. Show your personality and just be yourself. And there you have it, your 5 tips to be more confident in interviews. Remember, how you present yourself is equally as important as what you say. So, go in with a positive attitude and let go of the pressure. Also, remember to stay patient. It will take practice to master these steps. If you need to brush up on interview techniques, make sure to check out my previous videos on how to structure your interview responses. If you found these tips helpful, make sure to check out other amazing product marketing content on thecompetenetwork.com. Also, my flagship product marketing dream job blueprint course just launched this week. It's the only system you need to nail every part of the product marketing interview process to help you stand out, get ahead, and get hired. Early bird pricing ends this Friday, so make sure to check it out before it's too late. You can find the link in the description below. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.